The sun had barely risen over the naval base when Private Emma Collins adjusted her uniform cap and took her position at the gate. It was her third week on duty, guarding the entrance, checking IDs, and logging visitors. Not the most glamorous job, but for Emma, it was everything. She came from a small town in Nebraska, the daughter of a mechanic and a schoolteacher. Joining the Navy had been her dream since childhood. Yet, instead of the open sea or a special operations unit, she found herself stationed at a gate, standing for hours in silence, unnoticed by most who passed through. But Emma didn't complain. Every salute, every "good morning, ma'am" she gave was genuine. She took pride in the small details, polished boots, crisp creases, and the discipline her father taught her. That morning, something felt different. A convoy of black SUVs rolled toward the gate, unusual for that hour. She straightened her back, tightening her grip on her clipboard. When the vehicle stopped, a tall man in a decorated uniform stepped out. His presence alone commanded respect: sharp eyes, calm expression, and rows of medals across his chest. The emblem on his sleeve made Emma's heart race. Navy SEAL Commander. "Good morning, sir," Emma said, saluting crisply. The commander nodded but didn't respond. He handed over his ID without a word. Emma checked it carefully, aware that every motion was being watched. Her voice stayed steady, though her pulse was pounding. "Thank you, sir. You may proceed." But instead of walking past, the commander studied her name tag. "Collins?" he asked. His voice was low, but it carried weight. "Yes, sir." He looked at her for a long moment. "Any relation to Sergeant Daniel Collins?" Emma blinked. "He was my father, sir." "You knew him?" The commander's jaw tightened. For the first time, his expression softened. "Knew him. He saved my life." Emma froze. Her father had died in combat 12 years ago. The Navy had honored him posthumously, but he'd rarely spoken of his missions. She never knew the details. The commander stepped back, then did something that left everyone around stunned. He saluted her first. Every soldier in the vicinity stopped what they were doing. A SEAL commander saluting a gate guard was unheard of. Emma's eyes widened as she returned the salute, her throat tightening. The commander's gaze held something deep: respect, gratitude, and recognition. "Your father was a hero," he said quietly. "And from what I see, the same blood runs in you." For a moment, Emma couldn't speak. She felt the weight of her father's legacy, the pride he must have felt wearing this same uniform. The commander turned to his men. "No one passes this gate without acknowledging this soldier. She stands where honor still lives." The words echoed in her mind long after the SUVs drove away. That day changed everything. Within hours, whispers spread across the base: the young guard saluted by a SEAL commander. Soon, her superior officers called her in, curious to know the story. Emma told them what little she knew, but inside, she felt something awaken. Her father's memory wasn't a shadow anymore, it was a fire. That evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Emma stood at the same gate, head held higher. She didn't just guard the entrance anymore, she guarded a legacy. And what she didn't know was that the commander's visit wasn't a coincidence. He had come for a purpose, one that would soon pull Emma far beyond the gate and into a mission that would test her courage, loyalty, and the very limits of her father's legacy. That night, Private Emma Collins barely slept. The image of the SEAL commander saluting her replayed over and over in her mind. It felt unreal. How could a man of his rank, a decorated hero, know her father, and her? At dawn, she returned to her post. The base was quiet except for the hum of engines and the sound of her boots on the pavement. She didn't expect to see him again. But just as the first rays of sun broke through the clouds, another SUV approached, the same one. Commander Jonathan Reeves stepped out. "Private Collins," he said firmly. At ease. Emma relaxed slightly, though her heart still pounded. "I've made a few calls," he continued. "Your record's impressive. Perfect discipline, top marks in physical and tactical tests, so why are you still at the gate?" Emma hesitated. "Orders, sir. I was assigned here right after training. I didn't question it." Reeves nodded thoughtfully. "Your father never questioned his orders either. That's what made him both a soldier and a hero. But sometimes, the Navy overlooks people who deserve more." He handed her a sealed envelope. "Report to Command Building B at 0900. Don't open it until you get there." Before she could respond, he saluted her again, and left. At 0900, Emma stood outside Building B. Her hands trembled slightly as she handed the envelope to the officer on duty. He opened it, scanned the paper, and gave her a sharp look. "Private Collins, follow me." He led her down a long hallway to a room with tinted windows. Inside sat Commander Reeves and two high-ranking officials. "Take a seat," Reeves said. Emma obeyed, unsure what was happening. The Admiral spoke first. "Private Collins, we've reviewed your father's classified service record. You're aware he was killed during Operation Iron Vow?" "Yes, sir," she said quietly. "What you don't know," Reeves added, "is that your father wasn't just part of the mission, he was its backbone. He intercepted a coded message that saved an entire SEAL team, including me." Emma felt her chest tighten. Reeves leaned forward. "We've reopened a case connected to that mission. We believe your father left behind encrypted data that could expose an infiltration inside naval intelligence. We need someone we can trust, someone with his instincts." Emma's eyes widened. "Sir, I'm just a gate guard." Reeves smiled slightly. "Not anymore. You're being reassigned to a classified support detail. You'll train with my unit for 2 weeks. Your father's legacy lives on through you." She swallowed hard. "I won't let you down, sir." "I know," he said quietly. "That's why I saluted you." The next weeks were grueling. Physical drills, weapons handling, tactical simulations. Emma faced challenges beyond anything she'd trained for. But every time she felt like giving up, she remembered her father and the commander's salute. By the end of training, Reeves called her into his office. "You've done more than prove yourself. Tomorrow, we move out. Our mission's classified, but know this, it began with your father. Now, it ends with you." That night, as she looked at her reflection in the barracks mirror, Emma adjusted her uniform with pride. She was no longer the forgotten guard at the gate. She was the daughter of a hero, and she was ready to earn her own salute.